So hi there. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about actually how to use Play-Doh or how we use it at school. So I know sometimes with Play-Doh there's a big emphasis on all the kinds of fancy things you can do with it, like there are extruders and there are like little cookie cutter things and all that kind of stuff. But we actually don't use that at school because in our curriculum the emphasis is on learning through the senses and exercising the fingers and exercising the imagination. So I really would prefer it if children mostly use their hands. We have a few small utensils that we use, but mostly I want them to use their hands. So these are some of the things we use at school. Yeah, we have simple rollers. This one makes some nice little design on the Play-Doh, and this is a plain one. And then these little utensils that, of course, do double duty as being the sort of forks and spoons when the children are playing a picnic or a meal. But that's about it, and we don't use anything else with our Play-Doh because, of course, we don't want everything to be sticky, right? Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate a couple of little things that I learned at art school that are actually quite helpful for manipulating Play-Doh. So right now I'm kneading the Play-Doh, wedging it, which, by the way, when you make your own, and of course you will be, this is something that you'll want to do to make it homogeneous. So I'm going to demonstrate a couple of different things I learned at art school. The first thing that I just love to do is make a coil, or as we oftentimes call it at school, a snake. And you can use both your hands and you can roll it out nicely and make a nice long sort of tubular thing here. Right, and this can become many, many things. So one of the things I do is I'll take one end and roll it up like that and pinch the other end, yeah. And then take another little section of the snake and stick it here and bend it a little bit. And I'll take a little bit more Play-Doh and roll it out to make a tiny, tiny little snake and stick it up here, and then you have a little snail. So cute, yeah. Okay, and here's something else. I know I did that quickly, didn't I? Children won't do it as quickly, and they may not make exactly the same thing, and that's fine, because the emphasis here is not on the end product, it's on the process, right? So yeah, and that's another kind of rule with working with children and Play-Doh is don't make anything so fancy that they couldn't possibly copy you, because it will just be a frustration for them, and then they'll want you to do it, and of course, really, they should do it. So, make it simple.
Mine is falling apart.
I know. When it falls apart, it can go back together again. Isn't that so magical? So you do that, and then just roll it, and look, ta-da, it goes back together again. I know. So this one is a little bit fancy. This is probably for older children, but you can coil it up into a little bowl or something like that, And if you are doing this with maybe a 3-year-old, then they can always make something to put in the bowl. So this is another little technique that we'll be doing next, which is making little balls, and you can make them little or you can make them big. But this would be considered coiling, a technique. And then another technique is using pieces of, in this case, Play-Doh, but of course when I was at art school we were using clay, to combine the pieces and then make something with that. So this is coiling, and this would be what's called a piece pot, not to be confused with a P-E-A-C-E pot, but we could probably use one of those too. So now I'm going to make a shape, in this case a little ball, and I'm going to start combining the little balls. And you can do a lot of things by doing this. So here I am combining the pieces, and you could combine them like that if you want. There's many things you can do. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Portia. Okay. Yeah, and that's another thing. Your children you can work together with your child and make something. So just for fun, I'm going to pretend that this is some kind of bug, a friendly bug, of course. You know, what do you think? Does it look like a huge caterpillar? It's probably too big to be a caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it could just be a make-believe insect too. Yeah, it doesn't have to be anything in particular. And then, of course, you could recombine the little balls to make a little wall. Sorry, I'm going to turn you into something else now. Or, you know, make a little circular thing. You know, and they don't have to be balls. I don't know, you can make little squares or triangles or something. Okay, so there you have the piece technique. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah, we'll just stick those right there. That works. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, Portia here has added her contribution. She's doing really well with this. So now another little technique. This is a little more advanced. This is probably going to be harder for a 3-year-old, but you could start maybe by making a ball. And one way, of course, to make a ball is to roll it on the table like this, or you could roll it in between your hands like this if you like. And so I'm going to make what's called a pinch pot. So you got your thumbs there, and you just depress, and then you keep moving it around in a circle as you continue to depress the Play-Doh. And you can see, as you move it around, that you're making a little bowl. Yeah? Okay. There we go. So now you have a little pinch pot. This is a flower, yeah? Very nice. And this is demonstrating probably the last thing I'm going to show you here. Now, of course, these are just ideas. I'm sure you can come up with more ideas, and I think the children almost always do. So the other thing that you can do is create something that's flat. Yeah, and you can use a rolling pin if you like, but I find that just putting your hands on top of each other and pushing down like this works quite nicely. And then you've got something that's flat, and then, you know, maybe you could roll it up. I don't even know what I have in mind here. And do something like that. I mean, what is that? You don't even know. That could be, maybe, what could that be? Tasha? Portia, you have ideas about this? No, I don't either. Well, it almost looks like a vase, right? So we could just, using one of our other little techniques here, we could create a little flower maybe and stick it inside. But, you know, that's the thing. I'm an adult, you know, so I want to make something that I can name. But children make things that have no names, or they make things that they give names to. And that's what's so great. So this is not a test. So these are just ideas for you folks to use, especially because I know you adults probably aren't used to using Play-Doh a lot. I have the benefit and the privilege of doing it quite often. So this is just kind of to help you get your imaginations going, but really, the children don't need any help with that. They just need the materials and the time and space. So, happy Play-Doh. Thank you, darling. That's beautiful.